as I get the coffee ready. So bear with me for just a couple of minutes, and we're going to get the thumbnail going, and we're going to get not only the thumbnail going, but we're also going to get the coffee going as well. And then we're going to start the show off with a bang. So if you would excuse me for just a second. All right, man. Did everybody see the arrival of Canelo and Crawford yesterday? Did everybody see the arrival? Okay, there we go. We got the audio going right now. Okay. Not much of an... I don't know what you would really expect out of an arrival, right? Other than, I guess, highlight these guys walking into their hotel rooms or walking into fight week. I don't really know where the tradition of of arrivals really came from, but it is an interesting concept for fight week. Also, another thing that we're going to talk about, obviously, is Raja still not arrested. Okay, now everybody out there is talking about how, Raja really messed up this time. Raja's going to go to prison or this, that, and the other, right? Well, where is it? Where is it? Where is Raja going to prison? It hasn't happened yet. And obviously, I know that LAPD is notoriously known for being slow and whatnot, but how much slower do you have to be? Hate Love says, Salam, bro. Salam, brother. How are you, my man? Don't worry. I'm going to be on camera in just a second, just, getting some things situated right now, like, for example, coffee and this, that, and the other. Also, the other thing that we're going to talk about is UFC's Noche. Now, how will UFC's Noche coincide with the Terence Crawford and the Canelo fight? He says, hello, everyone. Hi. I'm good. Thanks, brother. No worries. Take your time. For sure, man. For sure. We'll probably wait for a few people to get in here. I'm sure we'll get a few people in here as time goes on. And, we're going to talk about all these hot topics in the world of MMA, boxing, combat sports, and now even professional wrestling, because obviously the Raja case is still ongoing, and if there is even a case at all. Adriel the Gamer says, hi. Hey, Adriel. How are you, my man? Let me know what part of the world you are from, brother. And everybody around the world, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, because we're going to get this thing cracking right now, early in California right now, about approximately 6:47 a.m. or so. And, man, we're gonna get all of this cracking on and cracking right now. Hit the like button. There's a like button right there. We need another like button. We'll get it going. All right, man. So, guys, just wait a second. I'm going to be on camera in just a second, just getting all the coffee ready right now, and this, that, and the other. So, all right, man. We got some people in the chats going right now. We got the coffee going. What is this? We got an embedded series for Canelo and Crawford. Very interesting. Hate Love says, bro, we can wait. Take your time. Oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. I always rush in the morning anyway, so it'll be no different doing it for a podcast. So, all right. All right, there we go. Hold on a second here. All right, so there we go. Yeah, Adrian says. Adriel, is it Adriel or Adrian? Let me know the proper pronunciation for that. All right, so we're going to start off the stream right now at the 6-minute mark of this live stream right here. All right, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so here we go. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to everybody around the world. A beautiful California morning to all of you out there. And I hope you guys are enjoying Fight Week, all the festivities that are going on, the grand arrival. On top of that, there's the Raja case still ongoing, but the reality is there even really a case at all? It is Wednesday, September 10th. Tomorrow is going to be September 11th, and then it's going to be September 12th on Friday, and then it's going to be September 13th on Fight Day of Canelo. And you got to ask yourself, after a couple of weeks, are they really going to do anything to Raja? And the reality is no. They're not going to do anything to Raja. Why would they? Well, here's the thing about it. They say that the LAPD is notoriously slow, but they already captured and arrested a bunch of Crips for allegedly human trafficking, right? In particular, the Hoover Crips, right? The Hoover Crips from Figueroa Street down in LA, right? They went after them. And what they did, I mean, there's some murders involved in that, but not to the extent where, I don't know, man. Like, if it was such an inherent danger of what Raja did, or he was such a menace to society, they would have arrested him already. Now, here's the thing. Why is it that a lot of people are adamant in wanting to see Raja get arrested? That's the question I'm going to answer to you right now, and it's going to surprise you. Did you guys see the recent news of what happened with that Ukrainian lady in, I believe it was North Carolina? She was on a public transport, and a black man had stabbed her, right? Unprovoked. No reason at all. Just walked up to her, poked her up, and that was that, right? Yeah, so about the stabbing, why that's significant to this story with Raja Jackson is because, look, many people want to see Raja Jackson go to prison, right? Is it Raja Jackson that they really want to go to prison, or is it black men in America, period? Because I think that white people in America have a PTSD when it comes to black on white violence. Now, are there white on black violence? Yes, we cannot forget this, okay? You should never forget this. But I'm only merely explaining to you what is going on in the mind of many people when they see someone like Raja Jackson. I saw that. No, he was sat down. She sat in front of him. Soon as she sat down, he stabbed her and just walked away. It's sick. Yes. Truth Seeker 65. Shout out to you, my man. I honestly don't think his race has anything to do with it. Oh, it's Marty, by the way. Okay. I kind of figured the 65 number may have, kind of gave it away, because I know 65 is some sort of symbolic number for you. But shout out to you, Marty. Okay, Truth Seeker. I like the name. Very gamer-like type of screen name and what have you. But yeah, so he says that I don't think it has anything to do with race. In particular, do you mean the Ukrainian lady that was, tragically stabbed? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean the Raja case going on? Because, yeah, certainly the Raja case has nothing to do with race, although people will make it about race, right? Now, look, here's the thing. Us reasonable people, okay, so you're talking about Raja. With the North Carolina stabbing with the Ukrainian woman, I think you could probably argue there is some racial element to that. Obviously, because why is it that he would target her specifically when, let's be honest, when you look at the camera, there was a majority of black folks in that caravan. So he says, yes, hate love, it's me. Hate love says, you had me fooled for a minute. Yeah, for real. The 65, I was like, wait. And then he has the a moderator symbol wrench on it. So yeah, GTSY guys. GTSY. What does that mean? You gotta explain to me what GT is. That good to see you? Okay, good to see you guys. Okay, so I just learned it on the spot right there. Okay, good to see you. Okay. Also, here's another thing, right? A buddy of mine in New Jersey, he posted something about the North Carolina thing, right? In the North Carolina situation, he mentioned something to the effect of, what did he mention? Why people didn't do anything, right? They certainly didn't do anything while all of that was going on. This is what he said. Let's see if I can pull up what he said here. Okay, so this sort of sums it up right here, right? Look at this. Dying girl, everybody is disinterested, human one, disinterested human number two. So basically, yeah, that's the message he's trying to convey with all this, right? Now, this is what I had to explain to him. Okay, let me see here. All right, here we go. So this is what he wrote. The comment. He was walking away after attacking her. No, one by one, the people around her just got up and slowly walked away as well. Not one of them even asked if she was all right. They just slowly left. People, he says. So, yeah, that's what he wrote on this, right? So this is what I asked him. Look, I want you guys to see this, right? So this is what my buddy wrote. By the way, not his real name, right? But, you know, he's an old classmate of mine. But, yeah, you know, we have some pretty interesting conversations. Yeah, they just left. I saw it, and it was upsetting. So this is what I wrote to him, right? Let's see what I wrote to him here, because me and him always have interesting conversations on this particular matter, right? I wrote, I would unalive that man on the spot. I'm talking about the guy that killed the woman, right? I wouldn't be there to put handcuffs on anyone. I'm coming as the Reaper. Now I understand your sentiments and anger towards the bystanders especially. No response, no aid to whom can be clearly seen as a non-combatant. Then again, speaking of aid, do any of them strike you as CPR trained, right? I am, and since it's a woman, I would have another woman bystander perform the CPR for me like a Chad, giving them a play-by-play instructions from step 1 to step 10. And if she don't comply, I'm playing Chris Brown, and we don't have time to say no. And I said, all banter aside, I want you to think about a different perspective. These people may not have responded because their experience with domestic violence is often coded in silence. So in other words, I was hinting at the fact that perhaps maybe the reason why people are not helping is because they thought that it's probably a domestic case and they probably don't want to get involved as a result of that. So, or as they say, minding your own business. I know you have thoughts on this take. I want to get your takes on this. And he basically responded by saying, disgusting people. And then says Daniel Penny, says, disgusting, absolutely. I'm actually nauseated. Same, yeah. So obviously there's a lot of fatigue going on with this situation now. Look, the reason why I had brought this to your attention, this particular news in regards to Raja, is because this is the reason why many people want to see Raja go to prison. This is plainly the reason why. There's no other reason why they want to see Raja go to prison other than this. People feel like when they see Raja beat down Psycho Stu, it is a reminder of racial aggression towards white people. That's really how a lot of this is being perceived. Now, I'm not speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for anyone else other than just the general sentiment that is going on with this particular topic. There's this word called be fatigue, okay? I think you guys know what I mean when I say be fatigue. And that is, it's certainly not a sentiment that I certainly hold, but it's a sentiment that is real to a lot of people out there. Look, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I have some white homies that have done things that Raja has done. Straight up. Not in a wrestling event, not in any public setting, not in anything like that. Just overall, random acts of aggression, right? Let's say you're at a function, you're at a barbecue, or you're at a club. I've seen these things happen. I've seen these things happen from both my black homies, my white homies. But I tell you what, when a black guy does it, there seems to be more of a pushback. And I don't know why that is. Maybe you guys can tell me. Maybe I know the reason why. I have my speculations. But the thing is that black fatigue is a real thing for some people. Now, for me, I don't view the world that way. However, unfortunately, many people view the world that way. Look, I'll give you an example, okay? I got an Italian homie in New Jersey, okay? And he has other Italian homies in New York. His Italian homies in New York say a lot of the most disparaging things that you could hear about black people. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why, okay? Because they live in a section of Brooklyn where there's Italians on this side and then there's blacks on that side. What I'm trying to say is that these Italian guys that I'm telling you about, that's friends of my friends, they have issues with black folks in their neighborhood, and as a result, they are living in constant war with a certain group of people that nobody else would really understand unless you're there, right? Now, for me, for example, before I go on, let me read this comment with Truth Seeker. He says, have to respect your opinion since you are the race whisperer and all. LOL. Well, I tell you what, right? This is the reason why you call me the race whisperer, right? Because when I tell you that I have Italian homies that have a certain sentiment for certain groups of people, and then I have black homies that I grew up with. I had Mexican homies. Obviously I had Arab homies, but it's an experience that I think I could share with people that not many people can really share. Poe Edgar says, is Raja cooked? No, he's not. Apparently not, because he hasn't been, in that situation yet. He hasn't been arrested. The cops haven't done anything yet. So I don't think that's the case here. I don't think he's cooked at all. Okay, going back to what I was saying, right? So that same story that I was telling you about my Italian homies, right? On the other side of that, I have a different experience with black folks. Okay, I had a completely different experience with black folks. Look, I got friends that got dreads that look the part. You know what I mean? You know what I mean by having dreads and look the part? To the average white person, they look like people that they should not come across or should be worried about. Okay? To me, they don't look like that to me. That's not the worldview that I have of them. To me, I look at them as fathers, brothers, family members, people that live normal jobs, live normal lives. Okay, maybe some of them have, gang affiliations or this and that, but they're normal people like everybody else aside from all the other street stuff, right? But that is the perception that people have in comparison to the perception that you may have, right? It all varies. So that's the point that I'm trying to make with this, is that people have a different perspective on these things. They have a different perspective on Raja. They have a different perspective on how they see this senseless killing. Now, look, this senseless killing that happened in North Carolina, I don't want to make this into a rich thing, but, well, how do I say this? A serial killer or somebody that kills people for no reason, I mean, let's be honest, I think they are of a certain race, right? Like, let's be honest, the majority of serial killers are W-H-I-T-E, you know what I mean? I'm doing a little Eminem line right there. Eminem actually spelled that out in a rap, and I thought it was brilliant. Poe Edgar says, it's good to be a rich Nepo kid. So I know where you're going with that, Poe Edgar. I think what you're going off of with that is you are trying to say that because Raja has yet to be arrested, that it is a result of him being the son of an MMA legend. And I don't know if that's necessarily true. Truth seekers, most mass shooters are too. White? Yeah. They are. Unless, of course, it deals with, an Islamic, inspired terrorist attack, of course. But there's a lot of white converts that are also terrorists as well. If you remember 10 years ago with the rise of ISIS, right? There was a lot of white recruits from around the world, Muslim converts from Australia, England, Germany, especially Germany. Kyrie, I agree with Poe on this one, LOL. So you agree that the reason why he's not arrested right now is because he's a Nepo kid. Okay, that's fair. But I need you to also understand the reality of the LAPD. I also need you to understand the reality of what it is that they can really take seriously as a case. Now, put all emotions aside, and you look at this from the perspective of a police officer with a non-biased point of view when it comes to race, and I don't know if that's even possible, but I'm sure there are cops out there that can decipher or, they can decipher or somehow mitigate these situations into what it really is, break it down into what it really is, and understand that it is a wrestling match, and it's almost difficult for them to really do anything about that. Johnny Dollarhide, shout out to you, my man. First time that I've seen you in here, shout out to you. What about the fact that the train killer was arrested 14 times and should have been in jail, not out on cashless bail? So that's a very good point, Johnny. I'm going to mark that comment, right? That's very important to understand about this story. Why is it that this gentleman was let out multiple times? Right? Hate Love says, hi, welcome, Johnny. So good. Everybody, let's give Johnny a warm welcome. So, yeah, 14 times, that's outrageous. Now, look, what I will say is that we don't know what those other 14 times are. Maybe they have some violence involved in it, maybe not. But if they were not as violent as this, or as violent as what it would have been anticipated in the reality of what's happening right now, then there must have been a good reason why they let him out, right? Now, what if it was based on shoplifting, right? You can't keep them there for that long. But what if it was for violent, mishaps? That's a possibility. But here's the thing about that, though, right? With the possibility of a violent mishaps that is happening here. Violence believe it or not, look, you don't know how many people I've seen got put in prison or jail, not prison, but jail for domestic cases, and then all of a sudden come out within a couple of days and no charges are filed against them. This is a reality. Okay, like violent crimes are not what you think they are. Now, if you're dealing with a handgun, if you're dealing with a knife like this in this situation, then yeah, they have to do something about it, right? But it's very difficult to do anything about assaults. It's very difficult to do anything. Okay, I'll give you a story from my own anecdotal experience. Fresh Melon Juice says, GOP is going to clean up all of the honor people real hard now. Hand pink, waving pink. Okay, wasn't that guy Kane tried to kill out on bail? Okay, you're talking about Cain Velasquez? Yeah, I believe there's news reports saying that he's going to get out soon. So, Fresh Melon Juice, when you say that the GOPs are going to clean up all the honor people, are you talking about the Chicago and the National Guard deployment? Because I tell you what, right? Let's do a breakdown on this, okay? Let's do a breakdown on modern Chicago gangsters versus the National Guard. Okay, let's do a breakdown on this. Matter of fact, I'm going to put this on the timestamp right now. Okay. So, all right. Many people. Let's start this off in the 30-second mark right here. Okay, so here we go. 10 seconds. Chicago Gangsters versus National Guard. 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So in this segment right here, we're going to talk about Chicago Gangsters versus the National Guard. Who would win in that situation? Now, many people are saying the National Guard would easily win that situation because they are trained professionals. Now, what about Chicago Gangsters? Do they have a chance against the National Guard? The answer is yes. You want proof of this? Take a look at what happened in Black Hawk Down, right? A group of ragtag Somalians, no training whatsoever, very unhinged. If you see the familiarity in that, they use drugs, they use cot, right? They chew this cot thing where if they get shot, they would not feel the bullets going in them, right? This is a real thing. This is a real drug. So, the Chicago guys, they have a thing called switches, okay? What that means is that there's extra clips loaded in the chamber, right? Usually you'll see them flashing around in music videos with long, handguns, clips, like short guns, short handguns, but with long clips, right? They call them switches, right? Would they have an opportunity to beat the National Guard? And the answer is yes. Look, this is the National Guard. It is not the U.S. Marines. And I think the reason why a lot of people say that the National Guards would attack, that the National Guards would easily attack these Chicago gangsters is because they're highly trained. Well, here's the thing. They're not U.S. Marines. Now, when you had the U.S. Marines deployed in L.A., you better believe that those guys would have absolutely tore up a lot of the gangs in L.A., without a doubt, because we're talking about Marines, okay? And this is not a branch-on-branch type of thing where I'm bigging up the Marines and I'm downgrading the National Guard. It's just what it is. Guys, when you are a National Guard, you don't train as often, okay? It's kind of like a seasoned fighter versus a non-seasoned fighter. Think about this, right? The National Guard guys are not seasoned fighters. They are reservists. They live most of their days as civilians, and maybe once or twice in a month, they will go to their station, report, and then a couple of days later, they come out and they go back to the civilian world. they're not really in the military life or not completely adjusted into their military bearings 24/7. There's a bit of an adjustment. So I want you to think of it like this, right? I want you to think of it as active fighters, okay, which is the Chicago Gangsters, because they are active. Look at the constant wars that they got going on, the constant murder rates that happens in Chicago. So they're seasoned fighters. The National Guard, they are guys that get called to fight 5 days notice. Remember Hardwick in the Paris card, right? Look at the way that he, what was that? Was that a Hardwick? Let me make sure. Let me make sure real quick. Let me take a look at the UFC results here. So let's see, where is Hardwick here? Yeah, Harry Hardwick taking on Fernandez, right? So during that fight, this is what I mean, right? This fight right here, okay, is an example of Chicago Gangsters versus the National Guard. Fernandez is the quintessential or the hyperboreal Chicago gangster here. He was active going into this fight. Harry Hardwick, he got called in 5 days notice. So as a result of that, he got his legs kicked in, wasn't prepared for that. And really, he had a lot of adjustments that he needed going into that fight, which he wasn't able to make. That's what happens when you got 5 days notice. He was literally only able to throw like 8 punches in that whole entire fight, or at least land 8 of them, which are not as significant. And as a result, the fight ended the way that it did. So by the end of the day, it would be a very bad move for Donald Trump to send a National Guard. Because look, I understand that Chicago is a hellhole. I understand that. I understand that, you know, there's a lot of tough situations going on in Chicago right now. I completely get that. But I also need you to understand one thing, right? I need you to also understand that they are American citizens. If you bring the National Guard to fight against American citizens, man, listen, it's going to cause a riot. Johnny Dollarhide says, National Guard does not train that often. True, but they are better funded. Yes, this is true. This is true. They are better funded, way more than the Marine Corps. That is definitely for sure. They are better funded, train more, and have a job to do. The gangs in Chi-Town are none of these. No, but Johnny, you have to take into consideration, right, that the Chicago gangs are active, fighting-wise, okay? Like, let's use MMA as a metaphor to this, right? Because after all, this is an MMA channel, so we have to keep it in that theme, right? The Chicago Gangsters, they are active fighters. They are constantly in gun battles, and sometimes, or if the situation presents itself, they're going to be facing National Guard guys that have not faced any deployments whatsoever, right? Inexperienced guys. Whereas these Chicago guys, they've gotten into plenty of shootouts. Hayden Love says, Johnny, there will be riots. Don't underestimate people trying to protect their homes and way of life. This is what I mean, yes. So they're going to take that as offense, sort of like an invasion. And look, it's not a good idea, man. It really isn't, because it's going to give Iraq shock and awe vibes from 2003. That's what's really going to happen here. That's the type of vibes that we're going to get out of this, right? So I don't know if we want that as an American public, which is why I understand that Chicago needs some cleaning up. I get that. And I would love to see Chicago get cleaned up, because after all, as you guys know from the Bilal Muhammad situation, Bilal Muhammad is from Chicago, and as a result of that, there's a lot of Muslims in Chicago, indicative of what you saw in the Khamzat fight, right? There's a lot of Muslims there, so I want to see Muslim lives live prosperously in a Muslim, city like that. So of course I would like to see that, but I would like to see it under the authority of the police force, and rightfully so, right? Fresh Melon Juice says, oh no, drug dealers shoot back, don't hurt them, get the F out of here. Well, that's what I'm saying, bro. So look, do you really want to put the lives of National Guardsmen at risk, all because you have this vendetta against gangster culture or whatever the things that are going on there? I get that, Fresh. But you got to understand, man, by the end of the day, they are American citizens, okay? These are our people, okay? These are our fellow citizens, and you can't just, I don't know, man, like, it doesn't, like, I think there's a better de-escalation process to this, but I don't think Trump, really understands that kind of language. I think what Trump understands is aggression. And this is the reason why a lot of bro heads love Trump. Now, look, what did Johnny Dollar say? It worked in LA and in Washington, D.C. Well, okay, so in LA, there were U.S. Marines that were involved. Also in LA, you got to understand that there are grid programs with the LAPD, and let me explain exactly what that is, right? So the grid program is where a lot of the OGs work with the police, not necessarily in a capacity to try and, let's say, convict anyone or snitch on anyone, but at the capacity where, all right, a shooting happened, so what the police is going to do is talk with the gang leaders, and when they talk with the gang leaders, they say to them, well, this is what happened, this isn't what happened, don't go slide on these guys because they had nothing to do with it, or don't do anything stupid because this is not the case. Usually people shoot each other in LA based on rumors, right? So what these gang leaders do with this grid program is sort of negotiate behind the scenes. So what I'm trying to say, Johnny, is that in LA, there is a contained aspect of organized crime in LA. Okay? Kafla Meyer says gangbanger. So yeah, the gangbangers in LA have a little bit more of an organized crime situation going on. Washington, D.C., it's a little bit easier to clean up because there are police officers there, there's the Secret Service, there's all types of law enforcement and government agents in Washington, D.C. It's a little bit easier. Chicago, it's a little bit different, man. A little bit different. But I don't know if, man, look, I know that Chicago is a serious problem when it comes to murders, but I don't know if it's enough to send out the National Guards. Okay? Do you guys ever seen the movie A Higher Learning by Omar Epps? Right? There's a scene where the Nazis, or the, what do you call it, the white supremacists, right? Played by Michael Rappaport. Michael Rappaport had been initiated into this neo-Nazi gang. Omar Epps was a student, college in Columbia University. And when Michael Rappaport played this neo-Nazi, one of the neo-Nazis asked, are you sure you're ready for this war? These black dudes, they're out there shooting each other every day. They're ready for war, right? So when I heard that and I saw that, I remembered right away, you know what, this is what the National Guards have to face. They have to face people that are in war on a daily basis, and as a result of a war on a daily basis, whether it's with the police or whether it's with the ops, they are seasoned fighters in comparison to people that are in the National Guard. So I hope that explains it. All right, so next topic at hand that we're going to talk about is UFC's Noche. Let's go to UFC's Noche right now. Okay, so now let's talk about UFC's Noche. All right, so so we got John Silva taking on Diego Lopez. John Silva, only one right now in the Fight Nerds that has yet to lose in the UFC, right? Very big fight for him right now. He's got a lot to prove in this one. Rob Font taking on Dave Martinez. Rafa Garcia taking on Jared Gordon. Decent matches, right? Kelvin Gastelum taking on Dustin Soltov. I think this is a fight that's winnable for Kelvin Gastelum. Alex Hernandez taking on Diego Ferreira. And then you got Jose Medina taking on Dusko Todorovic, sorry. Claudio Puelles taking on Joaquim Silva. How about this? Tatiana Suarez coming off of that championship fight against Amanda Lemos. Jesus Aguilar taking on Luis Gorelli. Zachary Reese taking on Cedric Dumas. Very interesting, right? Cedric Dumas had an interesting story going into this fight. Obviously, one of the things that he talked about was he had only $13 in his pocket right now going into this fight, which is crazy, right? Kind of tells you about the reality of fighter pay in the UFC. What is this? Okay, this is a title bout. Okay, so when they say title bout, I guess what they mean is that this is an Ultimate Fighter Finals. Monstrat Rendon taking on Alice Piera. Alessandro Costa taking on Alden Carrera. Okay, so Jean Silva, I got to watch that. I want him to keep winning. I like winning streaks. Yeah, you know what? If he keeps on winning, right, obviously, eventually, he's going to have to fight Volkanovski. And that should be interesting, right? That would be an interesting matchup. I mean, I think Volkanovski inherited, you know, a really tough contender lineup, right? Obviously, Ilia Topuria had to move up, and as a result, the one who was defeated previously had to basically, you know, stay and, you know, become champion again, but now has to deal with Movsar, has to deal with Jean Silva. Other than Movsar, who else is in there? Movsar, Jean Silva, Diego Lopez is in there, obviously, right? He's already been beaten by Volkanovski, but still a tough outing, right? Bryce Mitchell is in there, right? He gave a good account of himself against Ilia Topuria. So, yeah, man, a whole lot of not really interesting matchups, honestly, but compelling storylines, right? Obviously, the Cedric Dumas storyline is very compelling, right? With just $13 to his pocket. I mean, very interesting, right? So, all right, how about the grand arrival of Terence Crawford? Let's see some highlights of this, right? Okay, so Terence Crawford denies any shoulder injury going on. Okay, let's see here. Let's see what Terence Crawford had to say here. Because there's rumors going around that he has some shoulder injury, so...
Could I get a picture?
Yeah, it's not like you run into animal celebrities every day.
Stop! It's just a call! Stop!
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
booze when you came in. This is going to be a pro Canelo crowd. How you feeling about that?
Oh, this ain't nothing different than when I went to Scotland and fought Ricky Burns. So I'm cool with it.
It's nothing different. At Allegiant Stadium, the biggest fight since Pacquiao and Mayweather.
Hey, listen, they're all going to be quiet come Saturday.
They're all going to be quiet come Saturday? Thank you, bud. Appreciate it, champ. Where's Bomac? That's what I want to know. Where's Bomac? There he is, the man of the hour.
They're bringing out Bomac.
Turkey, you're making the undercard free for everyone tomorrow night, so that everyone's invited. 2 p.m. right here at the Blue Lives Theater at the Fountain Blue. That's where the party starts, everybody. No, Bomac, taking a long time to get up here, brother. I'm going to keep talking to your guy. Now, a lot of people in the crowd just now were saying Crawford's going to run. Are you preparing your guy to run?
You look like he's prepared to run.
I've never seen him run, but they think he will.
Have we let you down yet?
How's your guy going to beat Canelo Alvarez?
Check out Max Kellerman. He's got UFC cards on his hand right here. If you notice, these are, look, UFC.
Champion of the world. Ring IQ. Ring IQ? Doesn't Canelo have a high IQ?
He's smart.
But what does it feel like when you get up here? You said it's like when you went over to Scotland. But you're the villain in this to these people, right? Right here in this crowd, the people who shut up here, I heard them boo you. What does that feel like?
It's cool. They can't fight for him, so it don't matter.
He said it's cool. They can't fight for him. That's very true.
And when they say you're going to run, what do you have to tell them?
I already said it before. Before I got here, I said, I'm going to run upside his head.
So he's going to run, but upside Canelo's head, according to everybody. Bud, do you have anything else to tell these people?
Listen, I love each and every one of y'all, but come Saturday, y'all gonna be crying like I said. I hope y'all put a lot of money on the fight too.
All right, Bud, thank you very much for your time. Bomac's got something to say. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? What time is it?
Yo, why is Bomac going? What time is it, Bomac? Listen, bro, they are not filling you. That is not your crowd, bro. You know what I mean? Like, they are not there for you. But on any event, it's all good. It's all good. You know, all right, let's see here. What else here? Let's get to Canelo's side, and then we'll call it a day on this early one right here. Let's see, where is Canelo here? Okay. Let's see. So Hate Love says, please like, subscribe. It's free and helps promote the channel. Thank you. Shout out to you, my man. Shout out to you, Hate Love. All right, let's see here. What did Canelo have to say about this one? Let's get to Canelo. Max Kellerman asked him, hey, listen, how do you guarantee your fans that you're not going to lose to the little guy? Once again, sort of adding more pressure towards Canelo in that one. He said, let's go Mexico, cabrón!
Thank you, Canelo. Another great event. I can't wait for it Saturday night.
Wait, too. Andamos entrenando, oiga. Gracias, le agradezco.
Eddie, I've been wanting to ask you this for a while. Canelo has been one of the most skillful counter-punchers his whole career. The last 7 or 8 fights, guys are running, and he has to chase them around. Can he still rely on his skills from 4, 7, and 8 fights ago? I think of him sometimes like Marvin Hagler, who when he fought Duran, he gave him too much respect, and it was close. So when he fought Hearns, he thought, no, I'm going to go knock him out. What mentality do you want Canelo to have for this fight? Thank you, Eddie. All right. Canelo Alvarez, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest star in boxing for 10 years now, in the biggest fight of his career, Saturday night. By the way, the undercard usually starts Saturday before the fight, not this fight.
Yeah, that's true, Hate Love. He is trying to, you know, stir the pot up a little bit there, yeah.
Say something. I wanna appreciate you guys and thank Turkey Rashid for bringing this fight to America and make this fight the biggest fight of boxing history made here in America for you guys. So thank you so much.
It is not me, it is my country, it is my boss. The time for him, the ground is, and we wish good luck for Canelo, and you enjoy the fight in Saturday.
And let me tell them now. So the undercard does not start Saturday. The undercard starts tomorrow, and it's the best price there is. $3.99. It's free. You're all invited tomorrow, 2 p.m. at the Blue Lives Theater right here in the Fountain Blue. The undercard starts, and available now tickets to Thursday night's Underdog Series. It's the debut. You want to see young up-and-coming fighters and great fights? Same thing, same place, 8 p.m. The Blue Live Theater right here at the Fountain Blue, 8 p.m. Thursday night. Canelo, thank you so much. Turkey, thank you so much. Richard Schaefer, Eddie. All right, that's all she wrote, folks.
All right, so we'll do a little recap right now, and then we're gonna, you know, close the show off right here. So, all right, let's do a little bit of a recap right here to what we have just seen. Okay, so let's go to 56. That's okay. All right, so let's go to 57 minutes of this. Okay. So in 30 seconds or so, we will recap all the things that we had talked about in here, right? All right, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's do a little bit of a recap that we did for this live stream, right? Obviously, we talked about UFC's Noche. We went over the card. It's going to happen the same day as Canelo versus Crawford. Now, what is interesting is that the prelims for UFC's Noche is going to take place at 12 p.m. and the main card for Diego Lopez versus John Silva, headlined as UFC's Noche, is going to take place at main card is going to be 3 p.m. Now, what about the Canelo versus Crawford fight? What time does Crawford versus Canelo start? What is the time starting for that one? The time for that one is 6 p.m., okay, is the main event where the ring walks are expected to walk around 11 p.m., so that's 8 p.m., okay. So in other words, the main event doesn't start right around after 8, right? So there's a time difference to that. Canelo has to win. Oh yeah, if he doesn't win Hate Love, then it could ruin his legacy for sure. That's for dang sure. So, all right. Okay, so they timed it very well, right? You don't have to worry about that. The other thing that we talked about, the North Carolina stabbing, right? Also talking about Roger Jackson, still no arrest. By the way, those two things have a correlation to them. There's this aspect of black fatigue that everybody is talking about when they see someone like Raja beat someone down, beat someone like Stu down. They often have this image of black on white violence, right? Which to many people's perception has been really prevalent in the United States. But emotions don't run the law, and there's a good reason why Raja has yet to be arrested even after 2 weeks of the incident. We also talked about the Chicago Gangsters taking on the National Guard, okay, because Donald Trump has recently sent the National Guard to D.C. He sent the National Guard to L.A. Some people say that it worked, some didn't. Ibrin says, Raja is a bitch for that. I ain't even gonna lie. Even his father is extremely disappointed. Hate Love says, Kyrie, exactly. I don't want to see his career destroyed. It will be hard to come back from this loss. It definitely will, right? It will elevate Terrence Crawford, but at the same time, it will absolutely devalue Canelo. But with that in mind, guys, listen, that is all that I have for you right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Really enjoyed this live stream right here. Shout out to everybody around the world that is tapped in. Guys, I will see you in the next live stream, in the next video, in the next content, and in the next days to come, inshallah. Canelo for the win, Ibrin says, and that is a flag from Mexico. Take care, brother. Take care of yourself, Mr. Sandoval, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Ibrin, hello, I agree. I'm not happy with Raja, but sadly, his dad bullies him, and I think he did it to prove his worth to his dad. And with that in mind, guys, that is all that I have for this one. Like and subscribe. I'll see you.